You may be on Spectrum Sportsnet. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies tomorrow night.
After weeks and weeks of rumors coming out about what will be the first official trade in the NBA so far, we finally got some breaking news just a few days before the draft. Now, it's really important to know that this trade doesn't become official until tomorrow, where trades are officially allowed to be conducted. But for now, it appears as though the Los Angeles Lakers and the OKC Thunder have agreed in principle to a trade. So what's going on, guys? Mike here, and just a little reminder that I'm going to be live streaming on TheFlightMike TV later on tonight. It's literally a YouTube channel called TheFlightMike TV. Since I got banned off of Twitch, I do all of my live streaming there now. In addition to that, you can find a lot of old video game walkthroughs that I did there while I was beginning my career on YouTube. I feel like a lot of you guys would enjoy it, and since it's a brand new channel, I need as many of my members of Mike Mafia to go over there, turn on notifications so we could build something new over there. Now that we got all of that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, a few days ago there was this great rumor that I personally really loved of the Lakers pursuing DeMar DeRozan, and the trade would have been something like Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green for DeMar DeRozan, but unfortunately for the Lakers, that cannot happen anymore because they reportedly traded Danny Green. And here's how it goes down, and here's the rationale behind it, because we got a lot of information about why the Lakers conducted this trade to begin with. This all starts 2 hours ago from Shams Charania saying that the Lakers are engaged in active trade talks on a deal to acquire Oklahoma City's Dennis Schroder, which would, of course, send the number 28 pick in the draft to the Thunder, sources tell The Athletic and The Stadium. Now, Shams continued on about an hour ago saying that the Lakers and Thunder have agreement in principle to a deal that would send Dennis Schroder to Los Angeles and the number 28 pick in Wednesday's draft to OKC, sources tell The Athletic and The Stadium. Now, Shams closes this off by saying the Lakers won't be able to formalize the framework of this deal until the NBA's transaction moratorium is lifted on Monday, as I mentioned in our intro. Now, the Lakers weren't the only ones that were in on the Dennis Schroder race, because the Bucks also pursued a trade with the Thunder for Dennis Schroder and were deep in trade negotiations last week. Ultimately, the Lakers landed Schroder, and now the Bucks must move on to other targets. Eric Bledsoe remains the player Milwaukee is dangling the most in trade talks. Now, if you don't know where Dennis Schroder stands as a player, last year he averaged 18.9 points and 4 assists per game. And he did it while he was almost exclusively coming off of the bench, and he finished second in voting for the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year award behind Montrezl Harrell. Now, Mark Stein provides us with some rationale behind this deal, saying that after his role in helping the Lakers win a championship with a particularly strong playoff run, Rajon Rondo is expected to command free agent interest that exceeds the Lakers' budget constraints. Trading for Schroder is a preemptive move. The Lakers are making the trade for Oklahoma City's Dennis Schroder under the strong belief that they will be losing Rajon Rondo in free agency, league sources say. This is also closed out by Mark Stein saying that the Lakers also have interest in trying to sign Wesley Matthews away from Milwaukee to replace Danny Green. Now, the interesting thing is you don't see Woj or Shams or anyone saying that the Lakers are officially trading Danny Green. As a matter of fact, if you look at the original tweet, it just says that the Lakers are trading the 28th pick away in order to acquire Dennis Schroder. But this is definitely something that we're just all assuming, because Danny Green's contract is literally identical to Dennis Schroder's contract. Now, there's one thing that's a little bit troubling about this. I don't know in the long term how long we could expect Dennis Schroder to stay a Laker, because, of course, he's on a 1-year expiring deal. So the Lakers do have a lot of flexibility going in next year should they want to pursue one of the big free agents in the 2021 NBA free agency class. I'm not going to lie, I was a little disappointed that the Lakers would give up their 28th overall pick because, well, I felt like they could definitely get some more shooting in the draft as well, especially since they're going to give up so much shooting in order to acquire Dennis Schroder. But whenever you're making a trade with the OKC Thunder, it's definitely a safe bet to assume that Sam Presti is going to do whatever it takes in his power to get his hands on one of your draft picks. Now, obviously, the OKC Thunder get some shooting in this situation. They're able to add another young player with a late draft pick, which who knows who they're going to be targeting at that point of the draft. But this also takes the Lakers out of several other potential point guard acquisition talks. So the Lakers trying to pursue Chris Paul. In the very beginning, I said it was far-fetched. I think it's even more far-fetched now that this trade has occurred. I think at the end of the day that the Lakers made a remarkable move for themselves, because we all could agree that Danny Green didn't contribute to a championship as much as we hoped he did during the Lakers' NBA Finals run. And two of the biggest problems that the Lakers had last season was, one, they really didn't have a point guard. They had Rajon Rondo, who was a great playmaking point guard who performed remarkably well in the playoffs. But in terms of playing off of LeBron James being able to shoot, Rajon Rondo isn't a prime candidate to do stuff like that. Dennis Schroder literally shot 39% from 3 last year. He shot 47% from the field last year as well, which is his career high. And he posted his second career high in player efficiency rating with a 16.7 and had the second highest win shares of his career last year with 3.6 wins. Now, the Lakers are expected to pursue Wesley Matthews to attempt to replace Danny Green's shooting, which I think it's a very nice and a significantly cheaper way to replace the three-point shooting that Danny Green brought to the Lakers. Wesley Matthews has always shown that he's a very adept defender as well, and I don't think he'd cost nearly as much as Danny Green did. As a matter of fact, if you want to get to the specifics about it, looking at Wesley Matthews' contract compared to Danny Green was brought in on a 2-year, $30 million contract. He played one of those years with the Lakers and got paid $15 million for it. Wesley Matthews currently is getting paid $2.6 million. So that would save the Lakers about $13 million, while also going from a player that shot .367 from 3 last year in Danny Green, all the way to a player that shot, well, this is going to be kind of interesting, .364% from 3 in Wesley Matthews. So if the Lakers are able to swing such a deal, I don't know if the Milwaukee Bucks will be willing to part with Wesley Matthews because, of course, shooting is at a premium in the NBA. But if they're able to get his hands on him, then the loss of Danny Green will be mitigated significantly. All in all, I don't think Danny Green's so upset about his situation. He's getting paid a lot of money. He won his 3rd NBA championship, and now he gets to go to a new team that is going to have him probably fill in a bigger role. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about this trade? Grade the trade for both the Lakers and for the OKC Thunder. I honestly give both sides an A. The OKC Thunder get to trade one of their high upside players and best assets for a draft pick and some more shooting. The Lakers get to move on from a player that did assist in their championship run, but was for the most part a little bit underwhelming in terms of his contract. Aside from that, I'm your boy, TheFlightMike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.